Do you think that you can take the life of an animal or someone that wants to live and that would be humane?
It's hard to put them together.
You don't like what it was, then change what it is, 'cause stories only are what you make them. Wake up, get up and do something. You gotta wake up, get up and do something. Yeah, it don't take much, but a simple equation. You plus your imagination.
So the first question is, do you think, both of you, that slavery and modern day slavery is acceptable?
God, no.
Definitely not.
Yeah. And why is it not okay to do that?
It's against human rights, really. I mean, child slavery, for example, in Asian countries, is it still such a commonplace in a day and age where, everything's already so horrible?
Yeah, I agree. What about you?
I think considering all the stuff that's gone on through history, it's kind of self-explanatory why it's bad, and because you can easily abuse the people that you're using for slavery, and it's not fair that they're not earning as much money or any money, and then they're just being shuffled to place to some circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. So do you think that freedom of life is an important thing for all of us to have?
Yeah, exactly.
As well. What if someone owned slaves, but they treated them really well, they did still use them against their will, but they fed them and gave them a place to walk around every day and stuff like that? Do you think that would be okay?
I guess it depends on how the slaves are feeling about it, because if it's against their will, then surely just getting food probably wouldn't.
They still would be working against their will and still be forced to stay there and do whatever the slave owner wants them to do, but they would have food and stuff like that.
I don't think it is. Coming from my background where my dad's side of the family are Jewish, and there's slavery of that with ancient Egypt and the Holocaust, it's not acceptable in any way, no matter how well you're treating them, because they still deserve the right to have that freedom to choose how they work or when they work, and have the freedom to live as a human being.
Yeah. And do you think that it is unacceptable to have slaves and own slaves, because as humans we feel pain, love and sadness, and we have all these feelings that we feel if this happens to us?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. The next question is, both of you, do you eat meat or any animal products?
I'm vegetarian.
Okay.
I have been since I was 4 years old.
That's great. What about you?
I'm on the way to becoming vegan, so I'm going for vegetarianism, then eventually going to veganism.
So looked into it and everything. That's really good. Do you think on the animal side of things, the animals do have the same feelings as humans, like sadness and pain, and they suffer?
Definitely. There's a documentary that I watched ages ago. There was this man in Africa that helped save a herd of elephants.
Yeah.
When he died, the herd of elephants always come to his house on the anniversary of his death. It shows how how much of a connection animals can have.
It's a lovely story. What about you?
I was going to use elephants as my example.
They're lovely animals, aren't they?
Yeah. But no, animals are sentient beings. They have the ability to feel as much as we feel. Yeah. So it's wrong.
Yeah. Do you think that as animals feel all these things and feel the suffering and pain like humans, that it is wrong to contribute to their suffering?
Yeah, definitely, because it's kind of contributing to a human suffering. You wouldn't do it, so why do it to an animal?
Yeah. What about you?
In this day and age, everyone's just kind of oh, animals are stupid, and just everyone treats them as kind of lower beings when they're kind of no different from us.
Yeah, definitely. Do you consider in this day and age that animals are actually slaves, considering that slaves are something or someone that is owned and resold and used against their will without giving them anything in return?
If the trade of wild animals, that's definitely true, because orangutans being taken from their parents and that kind of stuff, that's definitely animal slavery.
Yeah. What about you?
I feel in some cases with the dairy industry, the cows are definitely slaves of how they're treated. But I feel pets, dogs and stuff, whilst it is some kind of similarities to slavery, there also is a lot of like similarities of companionship and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And certainly dogs especially, because through the domestication of them, they've learnt to be attuned into our emotions.
Definitely.
Now, basically, part of our pack.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. It's more the animals. I mean, pets, if they're adopted, it's amazing because we can give them a good life and help them, because there's so many that need it. But it's more the animal agriculture, all the kind of farm animals and things like that. Do you think that they can be considered slaves? You said in the dairy industry, the cows, but what about chickens for the egg industry? Or
definitely.
Yeah,
The way
as
the way chickens are treated in like the egg industry is disgusting, because they're just forced to lay eggs and they're kept in tiny cages where they have no room to move whatsoever, and that's no different really from slavery, because they have no freedom.
Definitely. And you?
I mean, even with like free range ones, they're probably still kind of like concealed in a factory with like next to no space.
Definitely, yeah. And they're still used against their will, aren't they? A bit like in human slavery, if we can like dare to make that comparison with animals.
It's still mistreatment, so why, if it's an animal, it shouldn't make a difference.
Definitely. And you said you're vegetarian, that's really good, but do you know what goes on in the dairy industry and all that?
I vaguely know about it, kind of thanks to Gaia here, that I know a bit about it. I actually drink almond milk anyway, so I don't really contribute to the dairy industry.
Dairy industry that much. Just things that contain dairy, maybe, or
I do with some products.
Yeah. So I'll quickly explain, because she's probably already explained to you, but basically they're mammals, so to produce milk they need to have a calf. Exactly, and the calf, as we're taking the milk, the calf is taken at birth for a few hours or a few days after.
To slaughter, I believe.
Yeah, so if they're male, they'll go to the veal industry or beef, and if they're females, they're going to just be the same as their mothers, just used for dairy, and then be slaughtered when they can't produce any milk. So it's kind of worse in a way, I find, than meat, because they're used their whole life in the dairy industry and having babies after babies, and they're taken away, and they really grieve, like you said, they really feel pain, and they cry for weeks.
I think whales do that as well, because there's something I saw about, I think it was in SeaWorld, when a calf was taken to a different area, the mother was really depressed for like several months.
And, it's really awful. So and then they go to slaughter the female cow, so it's kind of like a whole life of suffering, losing their children and stuff. So the last question is, if you could end this animal slavery, and just by changing the way you eat simply every single day, and it was really easy, would you do that?
Definitely.
Yeah. What about you?
I'd want to change the slavery, but at the exact same time there's also people who need to eat meat, so it's kind of, I'm on the fence, like they shouldn't be treated like that, and we should try and find a way to treat them better and like have it more humanely and stuff.
Do you believe that the word humane and killing goes together? Do you think that you can take the life of an animal or someone that wants to live, and that would be humane?
It's hard to put them together, but it's the best word I can think of, because there has to be some way to be able to get the meat for people who genuinely need it. Who help and stuff.
Yeah. What is it in meat that you need that you can't find in plants?
Iron is a big one. There's only like a very small range of plants that have iron in them.
Yeah.
It's the same with vitamin D as well, because I'm quite low on that because of the fact that I'm vegetarian, so I have to take tablets every day.
Yeah. What about you? What is it? The nutrients or?
I think it's like the only example I really can go off is when my mum got pregnant. She was a vegetarian, and she had to start eating meat because she couldn't find certain nutrients and sustenance that the baby needed when she was pregnant that she could get from plants.
Yeah.
So I think there are slight things that is beneficial, even though but a lot of it you can get from plants and from fungi and stuff like that.
Yeah. So regarding the nutrients and stuff that are in meat, and you think maybe we can't find in plants, or iron, for example, a lot of people underestimate plants, and the dairy industry and the meat industry, they try and play up that humane myth, and they try and play up, to keep the industry going, that you can't get this in plants and everything. But I can tell you 100% from doctors and everything, I'll give you links afterwards, but you can find every single thing and more in plants. And iron, for example, is one that you don't even have to worry about when you're eating plants, because as long as you're eating enough calories, it's like protein. As long as you're eating enough calories, you'll get enough. And obviously, if you're not eating Oreos because they're vegan, like you're just snacking on Oreos all day, you'll get all the nutrients you'll need. Vitamin D, it is good unless you live like in Australia or somewhere where you get a lot of sun, it's good to supplement with vitamin D3, even if you are a meat eater, but it is good anyway to take it if you don't get.
It's commonly known for vegans and vegetarians to struggle with it a lot more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, vitamin D is something that is found in animal products, definitely. That's the one thing. So you do have to supplement, but I mean, do you think that taking a supplement a day is like kind of better in a sense than contributing to animals dying for just vitamin D?
Yeah, I believe so. It depends on how the animals are killed, I guess.
Yeah. Do you, what way would you kill an animal and it would kind of be humane or okay? How would you do that?
I guess with at least no suffering as much as possible, because I think it's in Islam that they slice the throats and then drain the blood out. So obviously slicing the throat is a quicker way to be able to do it.
Do you know that they're alive whilst this happens and they...
Unfortunately, I wasn't actually aware of that.
I would say that's
slicing the throat, and then obviously they die.
Yeah. So when this happens, you can find it as horrible to look at. But on YouTube, for example, if you look at like halal meat slaughterhouses, they're completely conscious when this happens. They do read prayers, but at the same time, do you think like praying, if they're alive, they suffer more if you slice the throat, and it takes more time. So they're like,
Yeah, of course. I always thought that slicing the throat is quick.
Well, it's not. I mean, you can look for yourself at videos. It's like, it's quite horrendous. Yeah, sadly, it takes a lot of time for them to actually pass. And I mean, when, like I said, putting the two words together, humane and killing, it kind of doesn't. We kind of want to believe that it does go together and there's a way to do it quickly. But even if, let's take a human, or if you have pets, a dog or any animal that you love and you know that they can suffer and feel pain and everything, and you say, okay, you have a lovely life, we treat you well, we give you love, and then we just betray them completely and kill them. Do you think that that is okay? Or if you can have alternatives, let's say you would be 100% healthy, no problems at all, would you rather do that?
Yeah, definitely. Rather do that. I mean, because when I was 3 years old, as I said earlier, I said that I loved animals too much to eat them, and have been the same ever since.
Have you been vegetarian so almost your whole life?
Basically, yeah. I'm 19 now, so I've been vegetarian for 16 years.
Wow, it's incredible. What about you? Do you think you would do it if you would be 100% healthy and not contribute to their pain? If it was easy to do?
Yeah, definitely would.
Definitely. Well, that is veganism. Thank you so much for the interview, guys. I'm going to give you a few things with like loads of links and stuff, so you can go and check it out, and doctors talking about veganism and stuff, so you can just check it out for yourself. Thanks so much, guys, for the interview. You were great.
Somewhere out there in outer space, there's a world, no wars, no hate, where all the broken hearts are safe. I don't know where it is, I just imagine it. We are all gathered here right now. I can feel it, it's about to go down.